year, and all of us would give you a resounding yes.
Well, Hermosa Beach means that you can have an awful season and come out smelling like a rose. Winning a U.S. championship and having that name is all what you need.
Everybody looks forward to Hermosa all year long because everybody knows it's the biggest event of the season. And that will be the one event that everybody remembers into the future.
It's the climactic event, and it's the one everybody gets to savor. All the losers have to savor it all winter long.
The final showdown begins today, and a new contending team has muscled its way onto the beach. 6'4", 215-pound Randy Stoklos has teamed up with 6'5", 220-pound Ricky Luyties. They are perhaps the most powerful team ever assembled. But will it be enough? Do they have what it takes to win the biggest title in volleyball? Judge for yourself. Next, Hermosa Beach, California, as the endless summer continues. Today, a massive crowd is gathered at center court to watch semifinal action for the largest, most prestigious beach volleyball tournament of the year, the Miller Lite U.S. Championships. Cowabunga dudes. Chris Marlowe along with Paul Sunderland welcome to the most important event of the year and the richest. How rich? $750,000 in total.
Phenomenal season, and if they win here as they did last year in Hermosa, they can cap off possibly the greatest beach volleyball season of all time. They have won all 3 Cuervo tournaments. They won at Manhattan. If they win the U.S. Championship here at Hermosa, it will be the greatest season ever. Stoklos, big, physical, great volleyball skills as well. You combine those. Watch for a lot of blocking, good setting, good jump serving. Luyties and Stoklos can go all the way.
Let's talk individually about the AVP stars. Mike Dodd recently turned 36, having a fabulous year. He has won twice. He is number 3 on the AVP computer, up from 4. He has supplanted Stoklos, and he has gotten the most out of his partner, Mike Whitmarsh. Whitmarsh, they said he couldn't go the distance. He couldn't win, but he proved the critics wrong in Seal Beach. Of St. John Smith playing very, very well right now, and he surprised everybody this week when he picked up Ricky Luyties, the former U.S. champion, big, strong, powerful. Both these guys can hit, block, and terminate. Here we go, 1 game to 15 semifinal action. Luyties will spike first. And he's blocked. What's the key for this one, Paul Sunderland?
Well, you saw the key for Dodd Whitmarsh. Mike Whitmarsh will block a lot of balls. He is so improved in that area. Mike Dodd played good defense behind. Luyties and Stoklos have got to pass well. Everybody talks about the hitting and the blocking and the jump serving, but if they pass serve well, they'll be able to side out. Ricky Luyties with 2 mistakes right off the bat. Stuffed once and then hits the ball out.
So a couple of quick points for Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh. Mike Dodd wearing socks, as is his partner, Mike Whitmarsh. Karch Karai says Hermosa Beach sand is the hottest sand on the beach. Tour. Dodd has the dig. Stoklos trying to save point. Whitmarsh for 3. Yes.
Whitmarsh has become a digging fool out on the beach, learning every week from his partner, Mike Dodd. Played super defense in the win at Seal Beach over Kurai and Steffes, and winning all the long rallies right here. You may be big, strong, do all the rest, but you got to have all the shots out here. The pokey, the knuckler, play good defense, read, and be able to finish. Mike Whitmarsh, again, out on tour for only 4 or 5 years. Really great improvement in ball control.
20-second timeout. This is the final event of the year for the Miller Lite Grand Prix. Karch Karai and Ken Steffes have an insurmountable lead, but components 3 through 10, all those positions are up for grabs in this tournament. And the money is very, very extensive. Bonus money that will be handed out Sunday. Ricky Luyties tapping it through.
Both Ricky Luyties and Randy Stoklos can set the ball, which is really at a premium for players of their size. Randy Stoklos 6'4", big and strong. Luyties even taller.
3-0 is our score. Dodd and Whitmarsh lead. And Whitmarsh hits it out of bounds. So the first point for Randy Stoklos and Ricky Luyties. These two guys have played together before. They played 4 tournaments back in 1984. They took 3 fourths and 1 second. So they have played together. And they have looked very, very good so far today.
But, you know, Randy Stoklos has only blocked when he played with St. John Smith, when he played with Brian Lewis. Means that he was at the net trying to stop the balls there. But he was very excited about playing defense this week.
Luyties in red, and he hits it off Whitmarsh out of bounds.
You hear Randy Stoklos screaming out the area of the court where he wants Ricky Luyties to attack. After Stoklos, look at that, he's looking at the defense, screaming at Luyties, line. And of course the defense of Whitmarsh and Dodd adjust to that as well.
Ricky Luyties will put the ball in play. He's won 6 times on the AVP Pro Tour. His first victory at the 1988 Manhattan. But who can forget his big win here in 1991 with partner Adam Johnson. So Luyties serving. He's wearing red. His team trailing 3-1. Stoklos in black at the net. Little tap off the tape. Lucky shot, but it goes down.
Boy, Luyties stuck in the sand there. Got to make a reaction to the ball. You cannot get dug in. The ball hits the tape. That's to your advantage. You got to lunge forward and make a play defensively.
Dodd with an easy serve right to Luyties. And Luyties thumps it straight downhill. So back with the ball is Randy Stoklos. He's 32 years old. He won $1 million in his first 10 years on the beach. Interestingly, Kent Steffes went over $1 million last week in only 4 years. So money getting definitely bigger. As Whitmarsh puts it away. Side out.
Again, Stoklos and Luyties have got to focus on the same thing as Dodd and Whitmarsh. That is just siding out. Execute your offense. The points will come if you can continue to keep the pressure on your opposition. Keep them off the board.
Stoklos and cutting inside. So Stoklos and Luyties alternating, serving, blocking, and most of the times hitting.
Well, that was the key to their partnership. They had blocked exclusively throughout the course of a tournament, jumping 400 or 500 times, and each of them admitted to being very tired at the end of tournaments, not playing as well as they could.
Nice dig, Luyties, and he hits it in the bottom of the net. Both Luyties and Stoklos are not known as defensive players, but earlier in this tournament, both have shown surprising quickness in the backcourt.
If you hit the ball to Luyties or his partner, Randy Stoklos, they'll dig the ball. They give up a little quickness because they're carrying so much size, but you hit the ball in their area and they'll get it up as well as anybody.
3-1 is our score. Dodd and Whitmarsh leading. And down the line, out of the reach of Mike Dodd. Now, interestingly, Randy Stoklos had been playing with Brian Lewis. They were not playing well. There was some friction there. And interestingly, Brian Lewis, it was he who suggested that Randy and himself play with different partners. So Lewis suggested the breakup, and they both went their separate ways.
Well, the chemistry was just not good at all. They had a couple of poor finishes, 6 last week at the Cuervo, and I think a pretty good decision for both of them to go their separate ways. It just was not working out.
Lewis playing in this tournament with Tim Hovland. Luyties in trouble. Whitmarsh. Stoklos has it. Oh, and Dodd up high.
The little man, Mike Dodd, hovering and swatting.
We're coming back. Thank you very much, Jim Lampley. We've got the biggest sand trap in Southern California out here. The Miller Lite U.S. Championships. Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh have jumped out 4-1. Dodd and Whitmarsh playing very well. Mike Dodd just blocked a ball a moment ago, and Whitmarsh now will go up to the net. For some reason, Randy Stoklos not hitting very hard yet, Paul.
Well, I still think trying to find his rhythm. Randy Stoklos can bomb the ball as hard as anybody in the world of pro beach volleyball, but you still have to be able to move it around. The idea is just find the open area. It's not judged on the radar gun, although that's certainly a lot more spectacular.
Ricky Luyties' best year back in 1991 when he won $141,000. And Dodd puts it away. So Mike Dodd with the spike. Interestingly, Dodd wearing blue socks, Mike Whitmarsh wearing white socks. And for Mike Dodd, his last link to the USA national team Former national team player for 4 or 5 years, still has a kit and caboodle of those USA socks, as I know you do, Paul.
Well, they give you 4,000 pairs. Some of them stick around in the hamper, you know?
I never did like those blue ones. They make you look a little cloddy if you're big and slow.
Well, we were just ahead of our times. University of Michigan made them very popular this year.
Randy Stoklos serving. This is semi-final action. 4-1, Dodd and Whitmarsh. Early lead, ace for Stoklos.
Stoklos and Luyties trying to find their personality as a team, and they'll do that around their jump serving and blocking. That's why they got together, so they'd be fresher and stronger.
Here comes Dodd, and Dodd puts it away down the line.
It's really the success of Karch Kirai and Kent Steffes, who share the blocking and digging responsibilities that have forced teams to look at a different way to play. It used to be the big blocker up front like Randy Stoklos with the digger defender like St. John Smith that was so successful for so long.
Nice shot. Stoklos showing good finesse and trying to get the crowd revved up. Randy has been kind of in the doldrums lately. He finished 6th last week. He had a 7th in Santa Cruz, a 4th in Grand Haven, not like Randy Stoklos. Good defense by Luyties. Dodd, and freezes him. They got some big men out here trying to run around and play some defense.
Right, no slam dunks, just a lot of sky hooks and fadeaway jumpers here. But you know, this is a really good example of what you need to have as a total player to be able to compete out here. Good ball control. You have to have all the shots. If you just hit the ball hard and straight away predictably, you're going to get stuffed.
A 4-2 lead for Dodd and Whitmarsh. Stoklos finally heats up the big right arm and puts it away.
There are times, however, where the fastball is just overwhelming.
First time without St. John Smith. Randy Stoklos admitted in a magazine article that he was nervous. Called St. John's name out a few times when he dug balls. St. John, and he wasn't there. Whitmarsh. And into the net. Stoklos and Luyties pulled it within 1, 4-3.
They've steadied out. They're passing the ball better. They're setting better, getting into a good rhythm. And as experienced as both Luyties and Stoklos are, very nervous when you get together for the first week as a team, and imagine in the U.S. Championships.
Over, Ricky, over!
Rebound basket coming, jam. Stoklos. That's out of here. He just missed. Side out, Dodd and Whitmarsh.
Side out.
Key for Dodd and Whitmarsh when they're successful, the ability to pass the ball well side out. That's what they did to frustrate Kirai and Steffes, and they've made some unforced errors and had some ball control mistakes early in this match.
Stoklos bangs it hard, but out of bounds. Score another point for Dodd and Whitmarsh. 5-3 now. Whitmarsh and Dodd have an interesting serving strategy. They don't go for aces. They try to set up the block and the defense. So they'll serve it right to the guy, short or long, and try to get block and defense in place. Stoklos, mean heat.
Bombing cross court. That's where Randy wants to go, preferably hard away from his body. That's the shot you want to take away if you can when he's geared to swing for the ball.
I asked Ricky Luyties about his defense, and Ricky said, I can play defense. And Stoklos thinks he can too, so we might be better than people think. And that's out of bounds. Count up another point.
Well, but for me, this is the key right here. The reason that they teamed up was for fresh legs, so they wouldn't have to jump each and every time blocking. That means you're supposed to translate that energy back to the service line. They've got to bomb jump serves and have a lot more energy to play at the defensive end.
5-4 is our score. Dodd and Whitmarsh holding a 1-point lead. This is Dodd and Whitmarsh's 13th tournament together this year. Once again, Stoklos and Luyties played 4 tournaments back in 1984, but this is the first one since then. And Stoklos too hard, so Stoklos a couple of hitting errors presented by Old Spice. Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh have led all the way. 4-1, 5-3, and now 6-4. This is a Paul Bunyan type matchup. Big fellows on one team, Luyties and Stoklos. Bigger fellows on the other team, Dodd and Whitmarsh.
Well, for the most part, everybody taking big swings with the axe. And Stoklos has made a couple of unforced errors, hit the ball wide out of bounds. And a service mistake there, I think, by Dodd and Whitmarsh going to Ricky Luyties after the side change. They should have gone back to Randy.
Stoklos in black with the serve. And Whitmarsh tapping it over the top and down. A nice shot by big Mike Whitmarsh.
Good call by Mike Dodd, and they're really communicating well. Mike Whitmarsh has so much respect for Mike Dodd as a player. He's learning from him all the time, so when he calls, Mike Whitmarsh listens.
And Luyties cuts it into the bottom of the net. So no communication there. And a point, 7-4, Whitmarsh and Dodd.
Luyties with an unforced mistake. Big and strong, but well-rounded players. Just have to eliminate the mistakes.
And Luyties waffles another one out of bounds. So Ricky Luyties, the timing is not there right now. Doesn't look smooth on his hitting. That makes it 8-4. Stoklos and Luyties in trouble here in our semifinal. 22nd timeout taken by Stoklos and so Ricky Luyties frustrated. Randy Stoklos, of course, one of the great all-time players. He was a longtime bachelor for 30 years, and then last year he married a beautiful, famous fashion model, Carrie Coffey Stoklos. Recently on the cover of Elle magazine, there she is, one of the top people in the world. And if Elle really wants to sell some magazines, Paul, I suggest this cover. Put both Stokloses on the cover.
Have to change it to Bell, including boys.
8-4, and Luyties finally pops one through. What do you think Ricky Luyties needs to do to get his game together?
Well, I think both of them are feeling the pressure of being a new team, lots of expectations, so much talk around the world of beach volleyball with this team coming together. They got to up the ante a little bit. They've got to jump serve tough and find a way to settle down. They're playing very tentatively, each of them making hitting mistakes.
Whitmarsh, and Whitmarsh fires it through.
And if you look in the unforced errors column, Luyties and Stoklos have 5. They got together to block the ball. So far, they have none. They have served a bit better, but they got to block some balls.
Mike Dodd to put the ball in play. Unforced errors just about equal. And they're working on Ricky Luyties in red. Right to Dodd. He can go to 9. And he does.
Just out of sync. They have gotten together very, very late in the season. A risky move.
Dodd and Whitmarsh.
And right now, just not making smooth plays together as a group.
So Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh, the basketball team, the champions of Seal Beach, have a big lead now, 9-4. Stoklos and Luyties trying to hang in. Stokey. Whitmarsh. Yes! How about that?
What a play by Dodd, though. Whitmarsh, the recipient, he finishes. But again, the communication and confidence. Here's the joust up front. Early in the play, the pokey, and Mike Dodd said, just touch it. Just give me a touch and I'll chase it down. Dodd not only got to the ball, but set his partner perfectly.
Timeout called on the sand. Dodd and Whitmarsh are leading Luyties and Stoklos by 6. And they give a lot of credit to a doctor up in Los Angeles named Dr. Richard Sayers, who discovered the problem, said, hey, he's got to get more salt. So they beefed it up, and he's looked good ever since. Oh, Luyties. Luyties has taken off his shirt. He has put the red tank top to rest and unveiled a powerful heater.
Well, I don't think it weighed him down, but that's what Luyties and Stoklos need to do. Use the strength that brought them together as a team.
Tip, chance for a point. Luyties, and Dodd is there. Mike Dodd down the line.
How good is Mike Dodd just reading the game, been playing out here for a long, long time, got his AAA rating, the highest rating he could get on the beach when he was 16 years of age, and just read that play perfectly to finish the kill down the line.
4 minutes and 27 seconds to go here in our semifinal. And Luyties has decided to hit. Dodd digs in. Still in play. Luyties got it. And a big bounce for Ricky Luyties.
Stoklos and Luyties have got to serve tougher and block a few balls. Then they will be able to relax a little bit.
Ricky Luyties' nickname is the Creature. St. John Smith gave him the nickname way back when. It didn't quite stick, but then a fellow named Steve Obradovich, the John McEnroe of the beach volleyball tour at the time, says, "You're the creature, you're the creature, you're the creature." And it stuck. Don't forget, tonight in prime time, join NBC Sports for the U.S. Gymnastics for positions on the USA national team. I'm Chris Marlowe along with Paul Sunderland. Luyties had the dig for a moment, could not bring it back up. 10-4. Dodd and Whitmarsh have controlled the action as Ricky Luyties and Randy Stoklos, a brand new team at least for this year, try to get untracked.
Watch where they pass and set the ball. That's the key right now. They need to get in a long side-out streak.
Where they're getting easy serves to do it, Paul. Here comes Luyties. And Luyties, oh, Dodd is there again. Fabulous dig. Luyties trying to save a point. And he does.
Randy Stoklos told me before this match, he said, look, we vote the awards every year. The players pick him. He says, I picked Mike Dodd as the best defensive player on the beach. Look at Dodd just sitting back in his rocking chair, digging that ball straight up. Whips it, keeps it in play.
22nd. Chris Marlowe back with Paul Sunderland. The Miller Lite U.S. Championships, the most important beach volleyball tournament of the year. $750,000 is being given away this weekend. $250 of it in prize money. Stoklos going to get some of that. And $500,000 in bonus money. Stoklos going to get some of that. The big question is how much?
$100,000 to the winning team.
Stoklos with the serve, his team trailing 10-4. Stoklos and Luyties need a rally. Stoklos with a dig. This could be the spark. Score!
Can Stokey play defense? If you hit the ball at him, you bet. And even if you hit it away, he will chase it down. Good team, able to finish.
Randy Stoklos playing D.
I tell you, Stoklos down low, gets his arms out early, and then does not get a great set. Tough ball to set, spinning an awful lot, and then showing you again great shots, even out of trouble situations.
Stoklos and Luyties break a 5-point run. They're trying to come back here in Hermosa Beach.
Ask anyone who's driven a Ford lately. You may be in for
Joust for position. This is Saturday. One more day of coverage as Stoklos aces down the middle.
Playing good defense, Stoklos now coming back with the ace up the middle. And for a team that has been so smooth and confident, Whitmarsh and Dodd have been scored upon up the middle. They got to talk earlier and a lot more precisely.
2 quick points for Stoklos and Lewis. Can they block one? They chase one down. Looking for the point. Stoklos. Ba-boom!
3 in a row.
Stoklos and Luyties, 7.
Side not really a big factor, but Dodd and Whitmarsh not passing the ball as well as they did early. And Stokey going downtown for the score.
3 in a row for Stoklos and Luyties. Dodd punches it through. Mike Dodd, one of the smartest volleyball players to ever play on the beach or indoors. His father, Charles, recovering from cancer surgery up in Bend, Oregon. We want to wish him well. Said he's made him a better player this year. Doesn't take it quite so seriously. Stoklos stuffed. Whitmarsh got him. That makes it 11-7.
Just when you think Stoklos and Luyties are on a roll back in the match, an unforced mistake. The set died a little bit inside. Stoklos unable to get to it, and Whitmarsh right in his way.
Dodd and Whitmarsh led 5-4, but then ran off 5 in a row to take a 10-5 lead. Now it's 11-7. Stoklos rejected again. Mike Whitmarsh. They say Whitmarsh is the most intimidating blocker on the beach. He's certainly the biggest, and he can move from side to side.
Well, 6'7" and jumps extremely well. He's getting his head, almost his armpits, up and over the net, and nowhere to go that time for Stoklos.
12-7. Stoklos trying to get by. And Whitmarsh touched the net. You cannot touch the net at any time with parts of your body or with your clothing.
Shirt, hat, any part of the tank top flopping around the waist. Got to be very careful to tuck that in.
And Ricky Luyties to put the ball in play.
Look at Whit way over the net. That one he did get with his arms. Easy one to call.
Dodd cutting inside. Nice shot.
A great comeback year for Mike Dodd. A couple of years ago, had knee problems, suffered with a virus, lost a lot of weight. Tim Hovland, longtime partner, dropped him for the first time. And a lot of us, I even said, I expect Mike Dodd to retire after this season. He has come back, made a liar out of several of us, and playing some of the best volleyball of his career.
Stoklos puts one through. Score remains 12-7. A lot of people thought Randy Stoklos might play with Adam Johnson this week. There was some speculation that he could go back to St. John Smith, but did he lay a bombshell when it was discovered that he was playing with Ricky Luyties? Dodd tapping. I think if you're going to play against Dodd and Whitmarsh, you got to serve Whitmarsh. He's not as refined, at least in shot making.
Well, I think you need to serve him real tough down the sideline. He's had some problems receiving that serve. Mike Dodd is just too steady. He's not going to make the same number of mistakes.
Stoklos. And Luyties with the set to Stoklos, who cuts it inside and does a nice job.
Right now, Mike Dodd has received 7 serves and Mike Whitmarsh 14. So the strategy is to go to Whitmarsh more often because of the consistency of Dodd. But if I'm Luyties or Stoklos, I put the heater on Whitmarsh. He can handle that serve.
Line. Come on, Ricky, right there.
There's a shot that Luyties can get. He gobbles it up. Can he put it away? Bingo! Luyties and Stoklos pulled to within 4. 2 minutes and 32 seconds to go here in semifinal action. We'll be semifinal action. The Miller Lite U.S. Championships starting to work on Whitmarsh just a bit. And it touched Luyties on the way out of bounds.
I'm going to go to Mike Whitmarsh and go to him an awful lot. Stoklos and Luyties are big. They will not chase in the back line as effectively as with some smaller defensive players like an Adam Johnson or a St. John Smith. And Mike Dodd's got very good shots, going to put the pressure on Whitmarsh.
Ricky and Luyties cannot go over the tape. Another point for Dodd and Whitmarsh. Now 13-8. Dodd and Whitmarsh got to this semifinal by knocking off the Brazilian team of Anjinho and Loyola 15-9. And now Luyties and Stoklos in trouble. And Luyties pounds it through. If you're wondering about Luyties and Stoklos, they defeated the surprise team of Eric Fanoy Moana and Dan Vrbolovich, who had beaten St. John Smith and Brooke Vandeweghe. So the arrival of these two teams in our semifinal. Stoklos serving. And serving hard.
That's where it's got to happen. That's all well and fine, but you got to eliminate the mistakes on the offensive end. Stoklos and Luyties have scored here. They need to solidify that with a good defensive player, a block, but then they got to take care of their side of the net.
9 serving 13. Stoklos. Oh, and Luyties just missed it. Pretty good shot by Mike Whitmarsh.
Luyties made the right play coming off, favoring the middle of the court where a lot of players want to go when they're in trouble. Chose to play the ball with 2 hands, limited his reach just a little bit. Did not make the reach and play defensively.
A 4-point lead for Dodd and Whitmarsh. Whitmarsh again. Mike Whitmarsh controlling the action at the net. That gives his team a 14-9 lead.
Luyties not dealing well with the tight set here from Randy Stoklos, and Whitmarsh all over his angle.
First game point for Dodd and Whitmarsh. And Luyties converts. Good shot down the line. Luyties out of UCLA, one of the most decorated players ever there. A little frustrated by his play siding out. He's not putting the ball away as he normally does. Usually very consistent.
Kirian Steffes in a similar situation early, down 14-10 in the quarterfinals. They sneak through the semifinal action.
And off Luyties, out of bounds. So Mike Dodd will put the ball in play. Expecting a little more of a battle this week. Of course, Dodd and Whitmarsh, one of the teams expected to do well now. Big difference than being an underdog. Oh, spectacular dig by Dodd. And Dodd is there again. This could be it. And it is. That will do it. Stoklos said he was blocking, but Jim Leonard says no.
Whitmarsh and Dodd were just too consistent and too smooth. Unforced errors by Stoklos and Luyties.
I was making a blocking move. You were 10 feet. It doesn't matter. You got to be.
Stoklos said I was blocking. He was in foxhole position waiting for incoming shrapnel. as Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh advance in a match a little easier than expected. Dodd and Whitmarsh led all the way. Let's take another look. What is the blocking rule, Paul? Explain.
Well, you got to be somewhere in the vicinity of the net. I think the rule is 3 feet. Again, we talked about the defense of Mike Dodd. A lot of people counted him down nearly out 2 years ago. And look at the defense here, covering the court, making it happen.
Stoklos was in the defensive blocking position, and Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh advance into the finals of the winners bracket. It had a ton of controversy. There was a near fight at the end. We are going to show you the last few minutes of that tape. Check it out. It was a riot. It's been a game of flow. Akatabi and Johnson had a 6-3 lead at one point. Karai and Steffes came back, scored 6 in a row to lead 9-6. Ak and AJ had a chance to tie it up. They could have tied it up at 9, missed a point opportunity. Now Karai and Steffes ahead 12-8. And soon to be 13-8. Oh, Akatabi and Johnson save it. Another save, and somebody touched the net.
That's another big unforced error, and Akatabi getting in George Carey's face right now.
AVP women's division, court 3.
Akatabi gets the yellow card. And a red card. A red card point on Scott Akatabi.
Boy, that's a huge call. That cost Akatabi another point.
Red card for? Yeah, for what you just told me to right to my face.
And that's the game. That's it. 2 red cards on Scott Akatabi. Both for points. It's over. You cannot say the F word to the referee.
Well, Akatabi also threatened Jim Leonard there, if I'm hearing correctly, right at the end.
No more red cards now. Look out.
Final score.
So Akatabi all over first referee Jim Leonard. And it's not a pleasant conversation. Welcome back, everybody. And one of the most controversial finishes, in all my years of covering volleyball, I've never seen a semifinal or any kind of final end on 2 red cards for points. Akatabi challenged the referee. He got the yellow card. He swore at the referee. He got a red card for a point, and then he admonished him, challenged him to a fight, and swore at him again. And that, the eventual 15-point, Scott Akatabi and Adam Johnson losing to Karch Karai and Kent Steffes. After that, Karai and Steffes advancing into the finals of the winners bracket. Akatabi going into the water to try to cool off and try to simmer down, and he will be expecting a big fine from the AVP. Okay.